What if half the citizens in a country couldn't vote? For much of American history, that was the case. Although women worked beside men to create a new nation during the American Revolution and well beyond, the federal government did not protect their right to vote until nearly 150 years after independence was won. Legally, a woman in early America ceased to exist when she married. Her husband totally controlled her body, her resources, her children, and her politics. His was the only vote. This was called coverture. A woman was legally covered by her husband. In 1776, Abigail Adams wrote to her husband John while he was working on the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia. She asked him to remember the ladies and make the laws in the new nation more fair to women. He laughed. Yet women continued to advocate for political change even though their legal roles were limited. Many women supported the abolition of slavery, but they were forbidden to speak in public on its behalf. This practice led to the first Women's Rights Convention, which was held in Seneca Falls, New York in 1848. There, delegates including Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Frederick Douglass issued a declaration of sentiments stating that all men and women are created equal. But Douglass and Stanton parted ways in 1870 when the 15th Amendment was approved, protecting the right to vote for all men, without a sister amendment doing the same for women. After the Civil War, Western territories such as Wyoming in 1869 offered women the vote to encourage more people to settle there. Black women leaders such as abolitionist Harriet Tubman and journalist Ida Wells Barnett campaigned for women's suffrage to lift up other African Americans. Across the country, women led demonstrations to demand the right to vote. In New York City, a 16-year-old Chinese immigrant named Mabel Lee led a suffrage demonstration on horseback. In 1916, Montana elected the first woman to Congress, Jeannette Rankin, even though women still did not have the vote nationwide. In 1917, President Woodrow Wilson said the U.S. would enter World War I against Germany to make the world safe for democracy. But American women picketed the White House, noting that democracy at home still did not include them. Women like Alice Paul and Lucy Burns were arrested for picketing and force-fed in prison after they went on hunger strikes as political prisoners. Finally, Congress proposed the 19th Amendment in 1919, and it was ratified in 1920, protecting women's right to vote nationwide. But even still, some women wouldn't benefit from the 19th Amendment for decades. Many Native American women were not granted citizenship until 1924. Dr. Mabel Pinkwat Lee, the girl on horseback who grew up to be an economist, couldn't become a U.S. citizen until after 1943 because of the Chinese Exclusion Act. Racial discrimination kept women of color across the country from voting until it was banned by the Voting Rights Act of 1965. These Americans lifted their voices to demand a more perfect union for themselves and future generations. That means us. We all owe a great debt to those who came before us and made a better world for us. Imagine how they might want that debt to be repaid. How does the 19th Amendment help ensure a more perfect union for future generations?